Hi guys, Gareth here from Heartfelt Horsemanship. Today's video is about groundwork exercises for the very forward horse. We have a very different groundwork program that we do for horses that are more forward and tend to rush than we do for horses that are low impulsion, what people would call lazy. So I'm going to do Cherokee, who's actually forward. Yes, he's standing perfectly still right now, but that's due to training and part of the groundwork. And then tomorrow we'll work with Dream Hunter, who many people might consider lazy because he's low impulsion. So we show you how that groundwork affects their impulsion level. Our goal is to have all the horses that we have on an impulsion level of 5 out of 10. So if you think of 0 being horse won't go, 10 being the horse won't stop, we aim for 5 for all the horses. So a lot of people will say, well, every horse is different. Yes, every horse is different, but we look at balancing those differences as much as we can. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'll still do my backup. He's nice and forward, so I'm going to get a nice impulsive backup. Well, impulsion full backup. And then I'm going to give him dwell time. With forward horses, I want to give lots of dwell time. So if he were to start barging in, I would pick up and have him back up, and I want him to stand out there for a relatively long time. You'll see tomorrow when I'm working with the lazy horse, my dwell time is less. I still want to give dwell time. We don't want to be jumping from one thing to the next, but we don't wait for the low impulsion, lazy horse to fall asleep. You'll notice every time I say lazy, I use inverted commas. There's no such thing as a lazy horse. It's purely because horses are incapable of the lazy thought pattern. They play to their strengths. So a horse that's got speed will use speed as their defense mechanism. That's its strength is speed, and it will run far and fast. A horse that is muscular and confident, maybe isn't as fast, will stand and fight. So you'll find the lazy horses are more likely to resist and kind of battle in a situation where they feel danger. So of course we address relaxation. So when they relax, they're less likely to want to run away from us or want to fight with us. But those tendencies are still there. They tend to want to go forward more. As soon as pressure is introduced, whenever we ask for something, we're introducing pressure. Hopefully we can keep that pressure as low as possible, but with every request is a pressure. So they will either react to that pressure by going fast or by fight. And the groundwork programs that we do that differ, then we will adjust. So I'm going to title the video Groundwork for a Lazy Horse, but I don't believe that such a thing exists. It's just that horse's strength is to stay and fight. Okay, so that's a nice long dwell time for Cherokee. I'll bring him back in as light as I can and give him more dwell time. I'll give him a forelock grab. Cuddles when they come back in. I don't walk out to give cuddles. When you ask them to go out, especially out for the backup, we want them to learn to stand out there. 2 favorite places for a horse should be with us and where we ask them to be. They need to be confident away from us, and that's where we start building a horse's confidence to be away from other horses as well. Okay, so my general forecore movements are very similar. So I'm going to ask for a hindquarters engagement and exactly do the exact same thing when I'm working with the lazy horse, low impulsion horse. Okay, did that well. Give him a rub. He asks for a head rub. So there's a lot of standing around with these high impulsion horses so they can learn that it's okay to stand around. The other advantage to these longer dwell times, high impulsion horses have a tendency to be overachievers. They just want to do the right thing. So when we jump from one thing to the next too quickly, they start guessing what's coming next, and that's where that anticipation becomes a problem for us performance-wise. Rather than them waiting for an instruction, they skip to the next thing. Okay, that was good. I'm actually cutting my normal dwell time down a little bit for the sake of the video. I would even do this even longer. So my forelock rubs in between these things are normally 60 seconds. It's a lot of standing around. So my sessions are a lot of standing around because that's going to stop them wanting to rush around. Okay, 4/4 wise, I don't just do a 4/4 yield with my more advanced horses. I want them moving out completely. At least do a full 360 with as light a cue as possible. My initial cue is that. If they don't respond, I'll bring in a little rhythmic pressure. And you did well. And you can just stand with me. And they start really enjoying this time of just standing around. So, because I do this program with Cherokee, Hunter's Cherokee Dream, you will see he's actually not rushing around. But it's because of the program, not his intrinsic nature. So we've got him nice and balanced, but this is how you get them nice and balanced. In between my groundwork and my dwell time, I check my tack. I don't do one quick tightening, I do 3 tightenings as I work. Jamie's going to do a video for you guys on this topic on Sunday. Okay, so my first cue is responding. I don't need to go to the next cue. Nice long dwell time. Now this is, from here is where it gets a little different. I want a horse to just be able to keep going if they are very forward. Whereas with a lazy or low impulsion horse, I want to keep things interesting. They need to have changes often. So with Cherokee now, I've lost his attention there as he's pulling out one of the other stallions. I'll ask him to go out on the circle. And I'll keep him out on the circle for a bunch of repetitions. I might do okay, so he's kind of walking around really stilted, so I'll actually take him up to a trot. And keep him out at a trot for maybe 6 circles, 6 to 10 circles. Now you'll notice I'm not driving him, I'm not lunging him. He's going on a circle around me that's not lunging. Lunging is the actual act of chasing. Especially with a high impulsion horse, you don't want to lunge them because that makes them think they have to run fast. You don't want to chase. Now he's lost a little bit of engagement, so I'll actually do a rollover. And again. And you can see now he's more engaged. And you can stay on that circle again. So that slowing down is exactly what we want when we want to balance out a horse that's a little forward. But we don't want them dragging their feet. So I will still pick up and do something to get him more engaged. Quite happy with that, he's tracking. Now those from a more English background will look at the slow trot, but this is exactly what we look for. This is more of a Western jog. Not a collected jog, but it's a Western free jog. Okay. Then I bring him back in and give a long dwell time again. Now, just before I sent him out in the circle, he was calling and carrying on. That is a fantastic indication of his focus. And high impulsion forward horses tend to lose focus easily. And focus is like a muscle. When kids go to school for the first time, they have to build the ability to sit there and learn and focus for longer periods of time. And as we go through school, our focus is expectations rise. So if a horse is jiggling around before they get to as advanced as Cherokee is, I will work with just a backup and a bring back. And every time they'll lose distraction, they'll get distracted, I'll do something to get their attention. Now something doesn't necessarily mean a backup. So Cherokee's focus has grown fantastically recently, especially during lockdown where he's doing work more often. But so his eyes are on me, he's paying attention. I'm fine with that, and I will leave a long dwell time for that. Now if he had called, I would do, like screamed and he lost attention, he went to the stallion, and then I would do a backup, a disengage, or something. But if he's just looking away, I can, there we go, he looks away, I can just do something to get his attention back. Okay, I've got his attention back, and I'll leave him alone again. Okay, now I'll do my circles in the other direction. I try and avoid swinging my rope as much as I can. So if I can just get him to go in a circle with lifting it and leading and pointing him where I want to go, I'm happy about that. So again, the circle, the walk is a bit sluggish. Get him into his trot circles. Now, I still like having my horses do a bunch of walk circles so they don't think that every time they go in the circle they trot. So now that he's trotting, I might bring him back to a walk for a while. See if the walk's got a little more energy to it. No, back to a trot. just stays out there on a circle. Allowed to go forward and left to go forward, not too many changes that he stops the anticipation of things happening too quickly. Bring him back down to a walk. So, a very important thing about this balancing thing is understand that your horse will never stay just at 5. What I'm seeing now with Cherokee is his walk is probably of an impulsion level about 3. So this video today is about balancing a horse that is above 5. And Cherokee, about 8 weeks ago, 2 months ago, Cherokee was probably on an impulsion scale of about 9 or 8. We could stop him, but he always wanted to go, and he always wanted to go fast. So this is the result of it. But you end up tipping back the other way, kind of like a seesaw. So he started out up there, being rather impulsive, and now he's actually tipping to low impulsion. I might do a day or two of a low impulsion horse program. Engaged there. The rollover that I'm doing, we will do a section just on that at some point. Rollover, get that hind leg underneath, change the direction, and it does make them a little more forward. I don't avoid the things that make them more forward, I just go back to balance it. We don't avoid anything with our horses. We want them to be able to do each of the maneuvers regardless of their intrinsic nature. It's just about how much we do of each thing. Okay, now I'd like to get him up to a canter, do 3 or 4 canter circles. There's a shorter dwell time because he's balancing back towards the low impulsion at the moment. Yeah, cut that a little short so for the purposes of the video. But that gives you an idea of some of the things I work on with a high impulsion horse. And I will still get my sideways in, my turn on the haunches, some jumps in, but this is the exercise I work on to balance that impulsion. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Look forward to presenting tomorrow's one, which is on the lazy horse. Cheers, guys.